Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to keep talking about the Sisters of Battle today. I'm going to be setting up for some other factions, Age of Sigmar stuff, as well as 40k soon. So our little sprint through the Adepta Sororitas is going to come to an end soon. But today we're going to be talking about their different units, starting with canonesses. A canoness is the overall commander of one of the Order's militant, a shining example of purity and dedication of purpose. Each is a veteran warrior of many hundreds of battles, who has risen to her position through a combination of strong leadership, shrewd tactical genius, and sheer overarching faith in the Emperor. When the ecclesiarchy sounds the call to arms, a canoness boldly leads her warriors into the fray, refusing to take one step backwards, whilst her enemies still draw breath. Under their command, the Sisters of Battle have crushed the foes of the Imperium across the galaxy. Though she is ostensibly answerable to the prioress of her covenant, a canoness's superior knowledge of battle inevitably holds sway concerning military matters. A canoness is also responsible for the spiritual well-being of the warriors under her command, and she is the principal guardian of her battle sisters' souls. A canoness's non-military duties include leading the Order in its prayer services, performing rites of initiation, and overseeing the running of the Order. As a result, a canoness inspires intense devotion in her battle sisters, leading them from the fore whilst reciting the great hymns of the ecclesiarchy. Sororitas Command Squad. Apologies if you can hear my stomach. A Sororitas Command Squad is formed from the ranks of the elite Celestions, for only the most dedicated and distinguished battle sisters are granted the privilege of forming their leader's bodyguard. Having earned their scars and proven their merit on scores of battlefields, the Celestions of a Sororitas Command Squad are often given the honor of carrying the sacred standard of the Order into battle, or of safeguarding a revered relic, perhaps the bones of a long-dead saint, or an icon believed to have been touched by the Emperor himself during the course of a campaign. A Sororitas Command Squad may also be accompanied by sisters from other non-militant orders who act as advisors and specialists to the canoness. These sisters are commonly from the Order's Dialogus, skilled orators whose amplified voices can embolden the spirits of nearby troops, and the Order's Hospitaller. With her chirurgeon's tools, the medical ministrations from a sister hospitaller can staunch the bleeding from mortal wounds and purge many lethal poisons from a warrior's bloodstream, allowing a battle sister to return to the fray despite grievous injuries. Ministorum Priests. Adeptus Ministorum Priests often accompany the Order's militant into has even been known for them to lead wars of faith. There are many different titles within the ecclesiarchy, from high-ranking confessors and lowly preachers to famed missionaries, but their role on the battlefield is the same: to harness the faith of the ecclesiarchy's troops, with which to smite the emperor's foes. Confessors are extremely powerful and influential leaders within the ecclesiarchy, and wherever they tread, a bodyguard of battle sisters is rarely far away. Some confessors prefer fiery speeches and rabble-rousing to incite a population into religious fanaticism, while others are more subtle, manipulating the heads of guilds and other organizations to form coalitions against the enemy. Confessors are also charged with the training of more junior ecclesiarchy priests, of which preachers are the most common rank. Under a confessor's tutelage, preachers learn the skill of steeling the faith of warriors in the heart of battle, and their litanies can be heard clearly over the roar of guns and chain blades. Missionaries are part of the massive Missionaries Galaxia, and they stand at the forefront of the Imperium's expansion, accompanying the crusading armies as they discover new worlds and push back the frontiers of the Emperor's holy domain. Missionaries often encounter hostile alien races and long-lost civilizations of humanity who refuse to willingly embrace the teachings of the Imperium. In such cases, a missionary will call upon the Adepta Sororitas to present a very obvious and often lethal reminder of the Ministorum's true power. Ecclesiarchy Battle Conclave. Ministorum Priests can gather a band of skilled bodyguards to assist them in the execution of their duties, and heretics. Known as battle conclaves, these groups are necessarily small in size, numbering only a few personal protectors. Anything larger would breach the prohibition of men under arms, as laid down in the Decree Passive. Even so, the Inquisition covertly monitors the formation of battle conclaves to safeguard the spirit of the Decree Passive, if not its letter. Crusaders are recruited from the honor guard of the Cardinals Crimson, an ancient and mysterious order of the ecclesiarchy, famed for its unflagging devotion to the Emperor. Crusaders dedicate their lives to asceticism and martial perfection, making them ideal bodyguards. Crusaders stand ready to test sword and shield against mankind's greatest enemies. Arco-flagellation is a punishment carried out on those found guilty of a multitude of crimes against the ecclesiarchy. Augmented with extensive physical surgery and mental reconditioning, their bodies are implanted with a fearsome array of weaponry and chemical stim injectors. Pacifier helms project soothing hymnals into arcoflagellants' brains to keep them under control until a trigger word is spoken. Once activated, an arcoflagellant turns into a berserk killing machine that is completely insensible to pain and beholden only to the priest who controls him. Death Cult Assassins are among a battle conclave's most outlandish agents. Though many death cults are chaos-spawned, others are fanatically dedicated to the imperial creed and offer up those they slay to the Emperor, a payment of the blood debt mankind owes him. Death cult assassins have perfected the art of blades, which, when combined with their deep-rooted devotion to the Emperor and the ecclesiarchy, makes them lethal and loyal followers. Celestions. Celestions are the finest and noblest warriors of their order, inspirational figures whose refusal to yield, even in the direst of situations, is legendary. The presence of such warriors does much to bolster the fighting spirit of nearby troops, and as such, the Order's militant allows these distinguished veterans to bear devotional markings. The sigil Sororitas is a commonly depicted symbol, worn either as a tattoo or as a badge adorning the front of the helmets, an honor reserved for those sisters who have performed with exceptional courage. Only battle sisters who prove themselves to be exceptionally proficient in the arts of war may be deemed worthy of induction into the ranks of the Celestions. These elite warriors are deployed together in squads, where their superior experience and skill at arms can turn the tide of battle. Amongst their number are those sisters who once served as dominions and retributors, meaning that Celestian squads are supported with the weapons and war gear necessary to face a wide variety of threats. However, Celestians believe that such weaponry are as nothing compared to the power of their faith. Celestians are fervent adherents to the Imperial Creed, shining examples of righteousness that many battle sisters aspire to emulate. Celestians harness this ardor in battle, and it lends them the strength to split the skulls of alien savages in a single blow, and smite hideous demons back into the warp. Sisters Repentia. Confession and prayer are as much a part of a battle sister's everyday existence as bolter drills and military discipline. Those who fall short of the sisterhood's rigorous codes are subject to many punishments, but in the more serious of cases, the transgressor may be exiled from the order. These warriors, known as Sisters Repentia, are each cast out with only a handful of rags, a hood to cover their face, and a ceremonial eviscerator with which to strike down the Emperor's enemies. Sisters Repentia band together into groups that seek redemption in the fires of battle, and they are led to war by a mistress of repentance, a harsh warrior who drives her charges onwards with a pair of neural whips. The mistress judges each exiled sister's deeds, and occasionally, at battle's end, she may declare her sins atoned for. Although extremely rare, those few who return to the fold of their order are held with great esteem by the sisterhood. To the Adepta Sororitas, those who seek forgiveness in the Emperor's eyes by treading the path of a Sister Repentia occupy a state of grace that many aspire to, yet few ever retain. Indeed, some battle sisters willingly exile themselves, finding fault in the smallest imagined transgression in order to join the ranks of the Repentia. These sisters are possessed of a righteous zeal that knows neither pain nor fear. They will die when the Emperor is ready to accept their souls, and not a moment before. These sisters' maniacal fervor inevitably means that they martyr themselves fighting against the most hopeless odds, finding in death the absolution denied to them in life. Battle Sisters. The vast majority of an order militant is made up of battle sisters. Every battle sister is an orphan, raised from birth to believe in the righteousness of their cause. They are the most physically adept and martial members of the Adepta Sororitas, and they form the mainstay of the ecclesiarchy's fighting forces. Battle sisters are well-disciplined and highly devoted to the Emperor. Their greatest strengths are their superb weapons and armor, which they are trained in the use of from an early age. Battle sisters fight in small units at close quarters, favoring bolters, flamers, and melta guns to eradicate their enemies utterly. When combined with their unquenchable faith, they are a force to be reckoned with, forming an army of totally incorruptible and highly motivated warriors who enforce the will of the Emperor as interpreted by the ecclesiarchy with precise volleys of bolter fire. Each squad of battle sisters is led by a sister superior. These warriors are ranked beneath the canonesses of the Order's militant, and each is directly responsible for the conduct and training of her squad. When a sororitas joins one of the Order's militant, she will be adopted by a sister superior, and as she learns the ways of battle, it will be this mentor who looks after her physical and spiritual training. The most experienced sisters superior also assist the canoness in the running of the order, and many have specific duties and associated titles, including the abbess of the armory, the mistress of recruits, the ordinator of the reliquary, and many more. I think that would be ordinatrix, if it's Latin, as in dominator, dominatrix. Dominions. Battle sisters who utilize specialized weaponry such as storm bolters, flamers, and melta guns are known as dominions. They are amongst their order's most aggressive warriors, driven by the need to destroy the Emperor's foes. Though their training has tempered the worse excess of their impetuosity, Dominions still yearn to fight the fore of any sororitas attack. As such, the Order's militant maintains several units who are almost solely comprised of such warriors. Dominion squads are the Sisters of Battle's shock troops, and they are primarily tasked with leading the vanguard of sororitas assaults, breaking through enemy front lines, destroying heavily defended fortifications, and blunting the spearheads of any counterattacks. The importance of such missions is commensurate with the dangers involved, and as such, Dominions typically ride to battle inside Rhino or Immolator personnel carriers, protected from the worst of incoming gunfire by the transport's armored hulls. These tanks rumble to a halt mere yards from their target, and within seconds a fully armed Dominion squad is storming their objective, annihilating the enemy with a deadly combination of bolter rounds, melta beams, and searing flames. Dominions do not hold objectives. Their task is simply to clear them of any enemy presence as quickly as possible, and to lay down covering fire, whilst other sororitas squads move into position. The moment these locations have been secured by their fellow battle sisters, the Dominions embark on their transports once more, eager to engage their next target. The candles flickered as the sanctum door was quietly opened. The the Adepta Sororitas novice padded softly across the marble floor through a cloud of incense, standing respectfully behind the kneeling Sister Superior. She waited patiently for acknowledgement. "Yes, my child," asked Sister Superior Carmina without looking up from her devotions. "The orcs approach, sister," whispered the novice, her voice betraying her unease. "They will be at the gates soon." Sister Carmina remained kneeling as she concluded her prayers. "Give us strength, Divine Lord. May your will be done." She stood, turning from the effigy of the Emperor to face the young novice. "Fear not, my child. The Emperor is with us. We shall prevail." Within minutes, the stout wooden doors of the cathedral were thrown open as the battle sisters marched onto its steps, chanting hymns to the Emperor and raising their ritually blessed weapons of faith. Bolter shells rained down the steps, and arcane weaponry spouted cleansing fire. High above, the angelic forms of seraphim dropped from the dark, towering spires, bolt pistols spitting death. Sister Superior Carmina stood at the top of the marble steps, her bolter kicking in her arms as she pumped shell after shell into the greenskin horde. The light from inside the cathedral framed her in a glowing halo of brilliance. Death to the defilers. Retributers. Retributors are armed with the Order's heaviest weaponry. Believing that the Emperor himself guides their aim, these sisters annihilate the Ecclesiarchy's foes with overwhelming firepower. Retributors are commonly armed with heavy bolters to provide long-range support to squads of battle sisters, cutting down hordes of enemy infantry with a staggering rate of fire. However, in the close confines of urban warfare, or where the foe are wont to shelter behind armored bulwarks, Retributors often rely upon heavy flamers, unleashing searing infernos that burn their opponents out of cover and reduce them to charred corpses. Finally, completing the holy trinity of Bolter, Flamer, and Melta, Retributors are also adept at wielding deadly multi-meltas, whose roaring thermal blasts can reduce the mightiest of battle tanks into molten slag. Retributors are the most logical and level-headed of all sororitas, a trait that serves them well on the battlefield as they prioritize and dispatch their targets with calm efficiency. Although it is unusual to attach individual Retributors to Battle Sisters squads, many sororitas commanders maintain a core of dedicated heavy weapon squads. By concentrating a disproportionate number of the Order's biggest guns in this manner, the Sister Superior leading the squad is more readily able to direct their combined firepower to where it will cause the most damage to the enemy. Retributor squads often enter the fray in immolators, further bolstering their firepower as they lay waste to any foolish enough to stray into their gun sights. And that is where we are going to bring this video to a close. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.